Good day, everyone. My name is Will I am plus S. I will be your online tutor for physics. Please kindly subscribe to this channel so you can get notification on whenever I drop new videos. Thank you. So in our today class, we shall be discussing the foundation of physics, which should be unit and measurement. Unit and measurement. That's what we're going to discuss today. But before we go into details of what unit and measurement talks about or what it is, let us look at what is quantity. Quantity. Quantity is simply anything that can be measured. Quantity is anything that can be measured. So if you think of anything you can measure, that is a quantity. Example is mass. You can measure mass. Another example is temperature. You can measure temperature. You can measure distance. You can measure time. You can measure current. You can measure power. You can measure work. You can measure energy. And many more. So these are referred to as quantity because they can be measured. Then this quantity is divided into two types. We have two types of quantity. The first, that is types of quantity. The first type of quantity we have is fundamental quantity. Fundamental quantity. That is the first. And what is fundamental quantity? Fundamental quantity are basic quantities that are independent. Quantities that are independent are known as fundamental quantities. And there are just 7 of them. So we have 7 fundamental quantities. The first is mass. Not really the first, but part of it. Mass is a fundamental quantity. We have 2. We have distance. Distance is a fundamental quantity. We have time. Temperature. We have amount of substance. We have current, or you say electric current. Then we have luminous intensity. So these are the 7 fundamental quantities. So any of the quantities you don't get here is now regarded as a derived quantity. But there's something you need to know. The thing you need to know here is that this distance can be height. So distance is simply space or gap between 2 points. So height is also distance because it's space between 2 points. Height is also known as altitude. Altitude. So if you don't want to call it height, you can call it altitude. We also have width, or you call it breadth. We have length and many more. So these are also regarded as distance. So width is distance, breadth is distance, length is distance, height is also distance. So in case you do not see distance but you see any of this, it is also a fundamental quantity. So that's our fundamental quantity. The next type of quantity we have, which is number 2, is derived quantity. Derived quantity. What is derived quantity? Derived quantity is a quantity that is gotten from the combination of 2 or more fundamental quantities. So when you combine 2 or more fundamental quantity, it gives you a derived quantity. Example of such quantity is area, volume, speed, velocity, acceleration, etc. Just any of the quantity you do not see here among these 7 here is a derived quantity. So that is derived quantity. You get derived quantity by combining 2 or more fundamental quantity. Then let us look at unit. So unit talks about a way of measuring these quantities, or the abbreviation used to measure these quantities. So, and we're going to be discussing basically the SI unit. So I have quantity, I have unit, remember SI, that is, SI stands for System International Unit, unit that is generally accepted for measurement. And we have the symbol. So the first one I have here is mass. The SI unit for mass is kilogram, which is abbreviated to be kg. That is the SI unit for mass. Remember, you can measure mass in gram, you can measure mass in gram, you can measure mass in milligram, but the most accepted one is kilogram, which is the SI unit. We have distance. So distance is measured in meter. This is SI unit, abbreviated as M. You can measure distance in centimeter. You can also measure it in millimeter. You can measure in meter, kilometer, mile, yard, and many more. But the generally accepted one is meter, which is the SI unit. We have time. The time is measured in second. That is the SI unit for time, which is S, small letter s. You can also measure time in minute. You can measure time in hour. You can measure time in day. But the generally accepted one is second. That is unit for time. We have temperature. Temperature is measured in Kelvin. That is the SI unit, which is abbreviated as K. You can also measure in degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. We have amount of substance. Amount of substance is measured in mole. Mole is unit for amount of substance. Then we have electric current. Electric current is measured in ampere. You can also measure electric current in milliampere and many more units. The symbol is A, so A represents ampere. Then we have intensity, luminous intensity.